Ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to rumble!
How do you like it? How do you like it?
That is unbelievable.
These guys will be legends in their own country, but also in the international basketball world forever.
Are you not entertained?
I'm not supposed to be cheering, but this is X Series. I can do whatever I want.
It all comes down to tonight. Don't miss the biggest night in MMA. PFL is more than a fight.
Catching up on any NFL game is easier than ever before.
Looking to the end zone for the win!
Oh my gosh, one of the great games you'll ever see.
It's their time. A night to remember.
The UEFA Women's Champions League is back. Here we go.
Shot from Baines! What a strike that is!
What a player! What a moment!
Hey, listen up. Let's have it. We know you've always got your eye on the prize, the championship belt. And why wouldn't you? You're a finely tuned, well-oiled boxing watching machine, capable of consuming over 150 fights on the DAZN every year.
We've gone big, we've gone global.
Churning through combinations, comebacks, and non-stop knockouts. Where are you? With big fights every week, you're the best in the world. So go on, get that belt, champ. DAZN, undisputed.
Is the power and the speed still there? Can he be the wrecking ball that he was once in his career?
Every fight has consequence. There is so much on the line.
It's the greatest fight card, I would say, in the history of the sport.
There's been a lot said about me meeting with Eddie Hearn for the first time.
Two top promoters in the UK have never even met.
This has been a coming together. This has been a light bulb moment.
10 boxers from the top 15. That's extraordinary.
It's the craziest card ever. It's not supposed to be this good.
It was time for everybody to get together.
When you didn't think it could get any better, it gets better.
December 23rd changes the landscape and the course of heavyweight history. I know how to fight, and I'll fight to win.
Let's fight harder, unless we want to quit. Yeah! What a player! What a moment! Oh, what a strike! On for the extra point. Big room and a touchdown!
Zingano! I am on the edge of my seat for this one.
One of the best fights that can be made at 140 pounds.
War Leverkusen vor allem in der Offensive sehr stark. Auch mit Christine Kögel war eine gute Spielerin dabei, die in 3 Spielen hintereinander treffen konnte. Wie haben Sie Ihre Mannschaft defensiv darauf eingestellt, auf die starke Offensive der Leverkusener?
Ja, also wir haben ein Konzept entwickelt. Wir wollen natürlich auch möglichst vermeiden, dass die direkte Art und Weise von Leverkusen dann zur Geltung kommt. Trotzdem gilt es für uns erstmal, unsere Defensive auch weiterhin zu stabilisieren, weil wir vor allem nach dem Spiel gegen Bayern erstmal viele Tore dann auch zugelassen haben. Und dementsprechend wird es eine Mischung sein, dass wir versuchen, wie gesagt, manchmal auch ziemlich früh dann ins Pressing zu gehen, aber dann auch hinten auch wieder kompakt zu stehen und keine Chancen zulassen.
Okay, super, danke schön und viel Glück heute.
The duel of the new head coaches. It's a mild Friday evening here in Leverkusen today as we head into Matchday 4 of the Google Pixel Frauen Bundesliga with two ambitious teams facing off tonight. It's all up for grabs. Both teams come in with new coaches for the 2024-25 season, and whilst Leverkusen might look the better side on paper, Hoffenheim historically have come out on top of this fixture. The last time the Leverkusen has won was back in the Frauen DFB Pokal in 2021, where both faced off in the round of 16, pushing it all the way to penalties. The only time Leverkusen has won this duel in Germany's top flight was all the way back in 2016 with a narrow 2-1 victory here at home in Leverkusen. Altogether 20 matches played, and overall the team from Kraichgau, Hoffenheim, came out on top 15 times. One thing, however, is for certain, and that is that goals are almost guaranteed, as no game between both sides has ever ended without a goal. A good omen on the side of Leverkusen is that they're unbeaten in their first 3 outings this season. We'll have to see if that is going to stand. Of course, their first matchup up against Freiburg is going to see a rematch after that late decisive call that the DFB decided was not the correct decision on the pitch. Both teams now entering a, well, quite rainy Ulrich Haberland Stadion next to the main stadium here in Leverkusen, and we're looking forward to seeing what both teams can bring to the table here today. Of course, last couple of matches have looked strong for Leverkusen. I've already mentioned that they were unbeaten here starting into Matchday 4. Their last game was up against DAZN, where they were able to keep a clean sheet, 2 goals in that, and only 2 changes from the lineup there. As we start again with Friederike Repo in goal, the back 4 is going to see one of those replacements, with Sophie Sebel coming in for Levels, who had that late red card in the game last weekend. In midfield then Kugel, Sebel, Piljic and Wilmsdötje. And then up in front, Caroline Kehrer and Kramer. The referee today is Miriam Schwärmer. She will be supported by Jennifer Steingerber, Adrian Matsuvic and Annalena Weiss as the 4th official on the sidelines. Moving on then into Hoffenheim's lineup with Lovra Dick starting in goal. 2 changes here as well compared to their last outing. Of course, the back 4 remains pretty much unchanged. Grabowska comes in midfield for Harsch, and Jill Janssen replaces Kössler up in front. In general, of course, the Hoffenheim side, they were quite focused on the fact that they are going to give the players that were involved in the Under-20s World Cup a little bit of a rest, whilst Leverkusen were quite clear that they will have those players back in their lineups and ready to go for this matchup. And that is something as well where Lorraine Bender and Sophie Sebel, of course, have had strong outings there. Both were on the score sheet. Lorraine Bender ended up scoring 4 for Germany's national team. And all in all, of course, a decent run. The German side did drop out in the quarterfinals back on the 16th of September, so only 11 days ago. Not that long considering, and that's why it might be surprising to some that Leverkusen have decided to bring those players straight back into the wraps. Could have been an option for Hoffenheim's Theodorus Dedes as well, but he was quite clear that they do want to give the youngsters a little bit more time until they get back into it. And we'll have to see if that pays off. Of course, Hoffenheim's head coach was quite clear that he does see Leverkusen as the stronger side, and they sure have had a lot of changes since the break, but seem to have at least gotten the better start to the season. So we are underway now here in Leverkusen with that first stretch of possession from Leverkusen, trying to come forward with a little bit of a longer ball. It's going to be interesting to see both teams sort of starting out in a 4-4-2, and of course Leverkusen with that having one extra player in defense, giving them a couple more options to be flat in that regard, but are going to be looking to come forward with some force. Vidal now with that throw-in from the far side. Move not breaking down just yet. Hoffenheim trying to get that ball clear. But Leverkusen also want to win that ball far up the pitch. It's quite clear from Roberto Petzold that they do see themselves as the favoured side. And whilst Hoffenheim try to compensate with some of the players being out and having returned but just regenerating back up. Of course, their last matchup for Hoffenheim, that 5-1 loss up against Bayern only 3 days ago. Well, 4 days ago now. They only really had 3 days to recover and build back up to this matchup against Leverkusen. Only really enough time to try and adapt to a game plan, change things up, because Leverkusen certainly a different force than that Bayern side. Game slowing down just slightly. Selina Ostermeier not going to be pressured here just yet. Hoffenheim waiting for that first pass to come through. It's back to Repo. That is one of those strategies you can always bring. Hoffenheim were quite laid back in that game against Bayern. Didn't want to go that first move. However, today seemed to want to press a little bit further up the pitch. Might open things up for Leverkusen. But at least in these starting minutes, not much to see just yet. First attempt coming forward. Stopped quite easily by Ostermeier. Now maybe the counter-attack through midfield. Kehrer chasing that ball, does have Kramer to her side. We'll go all the way back to Laura Dick. We'll find the sidelines after that clearance was pushed forward again by Leverkusen. Jill Janssen dropped back for that throw-in. Throw doesn't quite come through. Vidal dispossessed on that far side. And still Leverkusen right now, seeing more of the game in the opening minutes. Sin Hansen tries to bring that ball forward. Hoffenheim still cannot break free from that early pressure. Leverkusen not letting them relieve the pressure just yet. Down that left-hand side again. Keep on getting pushed towards that sideline. Vidal again with that throw in backwards. Now that move through, Leverkusen coming forward with some force. Centre pass looking for Kramer. Just not working out yet. some of the calls from the sideline as well. Good win on possession here. Maybe now the opportunity, but the pass breaks down before it can really develop. And again, Hoffenheim get into their own game, trying to push forward, but again, cut out at that center line. And the passing just not accurate enough to get that long ball towards Kalin Kehrer. Wasn't really expecting for it, was just looking for a pass somewhere in midfield. Theodor Stedes, of course, his first managerial position here in Germany's top flights. Was an assistant coach before, only now starting out as the head coach here for Hoffenheim. Both of these coaches do have experience building up young talents, and especially Leverkusen have made it quite clear over the years now that they do want to do exactly that, build up talents, develop new players through their own ranks and also through the second squads and youth squads of other teams from around the league. We've seen that reflect in both squads already, especially as a lot of the German squads sending their very best over to the Under-20s World Cup. Roberto Petzold has a little bit more experience under his belt already. It's so nice to see a matchup with both coaches being new to their roles here at the respective clubs. And of course, the summer transfer window did see a lot of changes as well. Joe Janssen with a little bit of a limp following that challenge. Long throw will keep Hoffenheim in possession, however. Just about staying in the pitch, that ball. Janssen will lose that tackle as Kalin Kehrer will find possession here for Leverkusen. Christine Kögel, he scored 3 goals this season. He is going to be looking to add on top of that tally, but her free kick, short pass backwards into her own ranks, just to hold on to possession a little bit longer. And Leverkusen time and time again looking for those long balls down the flanks. Can't find their players just yet. We're still waiting for either side to get to a proper finish. Short pass over to Laura Dick, and then a long ball comes forward. Maybe now the opportunity to come through down that left-hand side. Low cross will come in, cut out for the moment by Hansen. It was a good run down the left-hand wing. Iselina Churchy. We'll see. First corner for Hoffenheim. Maybe an opportunity for Feldkamp. If they do want to go for that cross, would usually be expecting a short pass towards Grabowska, but both arms do go up, and it is exactly that, short pass. And that low cross in. No clearance just yet for Leverkusen. Headers do continue towards that center. A big, powerful clearance on. No one really on the chase. Everyone was back for Leverkusen. Everyone from Hoffenheim was up front. Laura Dick does come forward to sweep that ball away, but her long ball forward will only go to that touchline. It's the open arms of Friederike Repo. I have no problem with that. Good coverage by Tarani to make sure that ball does actually find the touchline. A lot of instructions here to see how they can actually manage it. Do have time as now Hoffenheim try to be a little bit more aggressive. Won't win out on possession just yet. A good move by Grabowska to try and get in that tussle. Get that ball back for her side. Maybe now Leverkusen can actually break through on their way forward. Kugel does send it down the left-hand side, will overtake Vidal. Not. This goes back towards the center, and Leverkusen again decide to slow the game down just slightly. First 10 minutes down. Not really a lot to speak of just yet. If you are just joining us, is the German Frauen Bundesliga here in Leverkusen on this Friday evening. Hoffenheim the guests. Of course, it is still early doors in the Frauen Bundesliga, as it's only match day 4. Leverkusen currently sitting at 4th, Hoffenheim at 8th. Of course, at the end of the match day, Leverkusen could see themselves at the top of the table, just 1 point ahead the Bayern side. However, of course, they will still play this weekend. Plenty more action across our coverage, with 2 big games still to come on Sunday. Maybe also the game that a lot of people are looking forward to most, with Wolfsburg up against Frankfurt. Both squads that have been in that top 3 over the past couple of years. At least Leverkusen already. We've seen a couple tackles now from Christine Kugel. She was a little bit too eager to win that ball back, leading to fouls, and might see an early booking here as well. I would say that's probably foul number 3, or at least for the moment. Miriam Schwärmer will have a word with her. But maybe that physical game is exactly what we are looking for here. Not exactly a position that should be too potent for Hoffenheim coming forwards. 2 options to actually go for it. I would expect exactly something like this. Quick touch of the ball down the right-hand side, and the cross to come in. Nice cross attempted towards the front post. Cleared out for now. And the second attempt by Grabowska, not exactly heading goalwards, and not looking for more for Hoffenheim side as they tried to come forward. Ball into space for Leverkusen. What we'll do, we'll bounce through to Laura Dick, and even right now Hoffenheim not under too much pressure to use the ball right away. Only now Hammer coming in, a little bit of press on. Hoffenheim hoping to find a little bit of space, coming forward now. Ball's just not accurate enough, and that's something that both head coaches highlighted during the week, that's something that they do have to work on. It's finding a little bit more accuracy on their passing, especially on those relief balls. Trying to come forward. But overall, Leverkusen, I would say as expected, looking like the stronger side for the moment, but that can all twist and turn. We saw that last match day with a couple of early goals for underdogs. I think a big highlight was definitely that Hoffenheim did have that first say in the game against Bayern. Selina Cerci with the 28th minute opener. Ultimately, of course, Hoffenheim losing out 1-5. It was at least nice to get that first score on and awaken the Bayern side. There's so many times that we see early goals still decisive. Of course, recently in the Frauen Bundesliga, all of the match days have seen plenty of goals throughout. Leverkusen has scored 7 thus far. Hoffenheim not far behind at 5, but the big difference between both squads is that Hoffenheim has also conceded 9 goals. Of course, a big decision in that was that Bayern game where they conceded 5 in just that one. So we'll have to see what they can actually get up to. Good cross coming forward. First clearance not looking too bad, but tussle afterwards. We'll see a good finish by Grabowska. Again, stopped in defense. And we'll see a longer spell of possession now for Hoffenheim. Deep in the attacking third. Good defending. Coming backwards for Katarina Pilic. However, it doesn't last too long. Again, locked down towards that left-hand side. Pilic doing well to join in on defense. Hoffenheim will win another throw-in. The Leverkusen players will not be happy with it. Didn't look like the correct decision. Might have just been the ever so slightly touch. Again, Hoffenheim still in possession now. Long cross comes in. The centre is a little bit more wide open for Hoffenheim this time out. However, good clearance on the Leverkusen side. We'll see them relieve some pressure. Maybe things can slow down slightly. Again, we've talked about accuracy on those long balls coming forward this time to try and cross sides. Didn't exactly work out, and might now see a phase where Leverkusen, not exactly on the clearance, could see the ball develop a little bit further in midfield. They try to go down that left-hand side and lose possession, unfortunately, with Caroline Kehrer. A lot of inputs, of discussions on the benches here already. Of course, with only 17 minutes down, I'd be surprised if we see any early changes. So Rapol now does have some pressure on her. Good to get that clearance attempted. However, again, Hoffenheim have now had a recent spell of 5 minutes where they were quick and easy to stop those clearances from happening. The accuracy in midfield for Leverkusen isn't exactly working bands for them either. Hoffenheim will actually have that throw in and take it quickly. I thought that maybe it would be pulled back for the earlier tackle. However, Leverkusen not to be fazed by it. Hansen just slowly but surely getting possession back, bringing it back into her own ranks. Now that build-up can start again. One thing doesn't change, and that is Selina Cerci always trying to put that pressure on. This time out now, long ball forward and a bit of a mistiming by Jill Janssens. So now maybe an opportunity with that cross into the center. Not to be this time. Nice header by Carolina Wilhelmsdottir. Of course, on loan from Bayern in her second consecutive season now. Has seen great development here with Leverkusen. Did see the loan extended. Of course, does still have a contract with Bayern until the end of this season. So to see if maybe she will return or move on to maybe even staying here at Leverkusen. She's had such a great time. Right now, though, Hoffenheim trying to come forward again with some force. And a quick and easy tackle. We'll see Hoffenheim get a free kick. Otherwise, dangerous position. I would be surprised to actually go for anything here. It should just go straight back into play. They do seem to be discussing options. Leverkusen now have everyone behind the ball. They'll be ready for a quick counter-attack. if the option arises. This actually does come in forwards, headed away. Again, it's now pushed down the right-hand side. Again, a lower cross, but this time in the tussle, it actually does come to an opportunity for Gia Corley, the 22-year-old. However, clearance on for Leverkusen. Again, into that build-up game. Maybe now with that long ball coming forward with some force is Carolina Kehrer. A chip over and into the goal. Leverkusen up 1-0 in the 21st minute. All it needs is a loose ball and a quick old run. Carolina Kehrer scores her second goal of the Frauen Bundesliga season. And pretty much as expected, even though Hoffenheim have had a little bit better of a run. Certainly, it was looking like Leverkusen will score that first goal here in the game. At least if things remain as they stand right now, they would see themselves at the top of the table until at least Sunday, depending on what Bayern can do in their game against Bremen. But nice goal, nice run. Hoffenheim surprised out of position. Maybe now with scoring opening up for Leverkusen, this game might just get a little bit quicker. Hoffenheim do want to find an instant response. However, Selina Ostermeier does come across the pitch strongly. He is going to be brought to the ground by Corley. We'll see herself penalised. Leverkusen will have a free kick from which they will pretty much just continue on as usual from their defensive build-up. Again, an opportunity with a long ball coming forward. Down the right-hand side into Hansen. Stotte tried to get it centred. Hoffenheim can't actually keep possession for that long in midfield, however, and Leverkusen. Oh, he won't have this throw in. I thought it came off of a Leverkusen player, but will actually throw it down that right-hand side. And again, a good run here. Carolina Kehrer will be dispossessed, but decent run down that right-hand side. And throw in next to come. A little bit more of a dangerous position. We haven't really seen Leverkusen come forward too much. A lot of their build-up was just through those longer balls. Not quite finding possession in their build-up. I'm trying to break free. Again, Leverkusen very clinical to win that ball back. And it's just about that 1-2 again. Bringing her out on the back lines, trying to find that pass coming forward. The passing accuracy here tonight hasn't exactly been top shelf. Maybe now an opportunity for Hoffenheim to find a response without it taking too long. I'm surprised if they actually make it happen through the midfield, but it is a little bit panicky. Leverkusen will pick up the loose ball. Some good passing. Again, just the only option to try and go back and hold on to possession. The long ball to cross the sides. It will actually go through Friederike Repol. It's interesting to see how far retreated Leverkusen are. Quite happy with their current position. You can see it's quite slippery with the rain. It's been raining pretty much all day across Germany, but right now Leverkusen trying to come forward once more. Nice attempted pass by Carolina Kehrer, but she was off balance. The ball came in just a little bit behind her. Not able to complete an accurate pass. Jansen has had a little bit of a limp throughout the game as she took on a knock in the first 10-15 minutes. Since then, looks like she has continued to be in some sort of pain in her runs. Again, Leverkusen coming forward, almost working out. Kira involved, but this time Hoffenheim retreated all the way into their own half. Opens up a couple more options with those long balls coming forward. Should see corner kick for Leverkusen. That's exactly what we'll see. Okay, Jansen. Jansen's pulling a couple of faces here and there. Did receive a knock on the far side. He tried to get a clearance off. I'm sure it was to her ankle. But let's see how much pressure this corner kick can bring. Kramer. Towards the back post. Should be a penalty here, definitely, with that pull down to the ground. Juliette Vidal. Probably see it again in a second. On that far post. Did have a good position. Perfect placement from that corner kick. And quite clear was being pulled. I think her hand actually did make contact with that ball as well as she was going down. But that won't matter, as it was already decided. Of course, here in the Frauen Bundesliga, we don't have VAR. There won't be any delay in play to get any checks done. It should be Cornelia Kramer, the 21-year-old Danish national, to score, and that's exactly what she does. Brand new to Leverkusen, her first goal in the Frauen Bundesliga. And Leverkusen up 2-0 thanks to that penalty. Well, Laura Dick did have the right corner in mind. It all works out for Cornelia Kramer. This is her first goal this season. Her fourth, I believe, actually. Oh, sorry, her first here in the Bundesliga in just her fourth outing in the Frauen Bundesliga. Has started on all 4 match days thus far. Collected 1 assist a couple of games ago. And now on the score sheet herself. 2-0 now. If you are just joining us, that first goal came in from Caroline Kehrer with a long ball from Leverkusen over that Hoffenheim defense. Unfortunately, not enough players back to actually try and counter it. And it was a nice chip over Laura Dick to make it 1-0. And pretty much exactly what Leverkusen, of course, are looking for in their home game here. Keep the points at home. Make sure that they keep towards the top of the table. Of course, scoring goals is going to be important because all the other teams are going to be doing exactly that. Maybe now again for Leverkusen. Good chance by Carolina Wemstottir. Very strong run again. She's already scored 5 goals since her loan here to Leverkusen, and not a whole lot missing from that move. Hoffenheim seem a little bit more retreated right now. And we'll have to see, maybe also an option for coach Theodore Stedes to make a change towards half-time. Of course, it is still early days here in the game. We've got a third through with 15 minutes still to go until that half-time whistle. But I'm sure that he is eager, awaiting exactly that timing, because I'm sure that he does want to have a word. He seemed quite relaxed on the bench earlier, but you could see him pacing up and down his coaching box more and more in the last few minutes. On the opposite side, Roberto Petzold, he's been up pretty much the entire time, giving further instructions. Now again, Leverkusen coming forward. Vidal down that left-hand side into Caroline Kehrer. Dispossessed for a moment, but good fight by Vidal to bring things back. And a good strike by Caroline Kramer. Sorry, Cornelia Kramer did just score that penalty. A fight as well by Vidal to bring that ball back. Just about able to get a touch on it is Laura Dick. To keep that ball from going in the goal. It already went through her gloves. However, just enough of a deflection for it not to end up in the back of the neck. Selina Ostermeier now. Back in that build-up here for Leverkusen. Maybe Leverkusen trying to seal the deal before that halftime whistle blows. Kramer, ball cross attempted. Should be a corner kick here, but she doesn't keep it in play, and that's exactly what we'll see. More pressure here for Leverkusen to try and take that corner quickly. Quick talk between Cornelia Kramer and Christine Kögel. Maybe now the attempt from that corner. Previous corner already looked very strong. You could see in the box, very, very crowded around Laura Dick. There's the option for the short pass, but the cross again does come in towards that front post. Out of the way for the moment. Leverkusen will stay in possession for now. Ilicic, her cross also blocked, and we'll see a follow-up corner here again. It was from that far side. And that dangerous cross came in. We'll see that earlier yellow confirmed by the graphics now as well against Jill Janssens. Isn't really any way around that fact. Again to come in again towards the front post, this time headed away. Only as far as Kögel. Her shot, I think, was deflected and easy into the arms of Laura Dick. Would be nice to see Hoffenheim come through forwards once again. They did have a spell of possession for about 5 minutes where they did come forward time and time again. And Leverkusen were struggling a little bit, stopping them from actually taking finishing touches. It was always blocked early on, so not enough to really challenge Friederike Repo early in this game. However, since then, it's been pretty much all Leverkusen. Not much of a response, unfortunately. Another throw in on that far side. Leverkusen doing well. And yeah, I mean, it's pretty much what we were talking about. The fact that, yeah, there is attempts towards goal, but not really hitting the target. Possession has been 50-50. And especially Leverkusen missing out on a couple of vital passes that I think could have gotten them into even better positions. However, also Hoffenheim, especially in those vital final touches, weren't accurate enough to really make things dangerous. So we'll have another 10 minutes here in the first half, plus probably 2 or 3 added on. Usually Germany is quite conservative when it comes to time added on top. However, again, Leverkusen are the ones to continue possession now, and I would imagine that will continue to be the case towards the end of the first half here. Ostermeier also giving everybody a little bit of relief, bringing it back all the way to Repo. On the far side, you can see the Leverkusen players also getting ready to their warm-up position. We did already see a couple of Hoffenheim players out earlier. It has cooled down a little bit throughout the evening. Of course, the rain certainly a factor. I think not as many people came out to actually watch the game. You can see a couple of people behind the fences in the background as well. But the ranks not as filled. As of course, it's not exactly the most inviting weather here. It's the end of September. Usually we do see a little bit of a late summer in Germany as well. That hasn't really been the case. It's been quite mild, quite cold over last week as well. Right now with about 13 degrees. Not exactly the nicest evening to watch football. Nice to see the support earlier before the game. We did also see a bunch of Hoffenheim fans that made the trip. Not exactly a short trip to come up to Leverkusen from Hoffenheim. Nice to see the traveling support there as well. Maybe now with that tackle, Vidal a little bit too much for Miriam Schwärmer. And he's going to have a talking to after that tackle. Sorry, it was Tirani, not Vidal in that position. And maybe now a little bit more dangerous position here for Hoffenheim. What can they do for it? Hoffenheim trying to be a little bit deeper inside that box. Leverkusen players retreating for it as well. 4 players ready in that wall. Could it be a direct attempt? Don't see too many direct free kick goals, but it will be attempted. Not a whole lot missing, but over the crossbar. And again, Federica Repol not having to actually get a touch to it. A little bit more dangerous this time out. Dangerous with those short goal kicks. Maybe now a little bit more opportunity to develop throughout that midfield. Actually coming out on top of possession, but again a misplaced pass from Carolina Kehrer. We'll see Hoffenheim break things down easily. We'll have that throw-in. Throw-in with that does work out. Bit of a tackle from behind, but not enough for a foul here. So it's Miriam Schwärmer. I've been trying to keep an eye on Jill Janssens, who took a knock in the first 15 minutes of this game. Seems to be moving a little bit easier now. So should be fine altogether. Maybe now Christine Kögel, long ball forward. He is going to be headed away in first instance. Hansen did come forward and will keep that ball going in a forward motion. Maybe now Wilmsdottir in towards the center, headed down. I was going to say it looked awfully like offside for Corlinia Kramer, but a nice attempt, nice header. Good positioning for the Leverkusen side. It could have been 3-0. It did look like offside. Our camera view here as well. So no problem for the officials on the side to see the offside. Raise that flag immediately. 6 minutes now still to go. Hoffenheim are trying to win that ball back and might have been in a good position if they would have done so fairly. Sophie Stable brought down to the ground. Leverkusen quite easy to keep possession going further. It's been some time now since we've seen Leverkusen get in front of goal, apart from that offside header just now. They can out on top to extend the lead even further. Going for Hoffenheim deep inside of their own half. Not wasting any time with it. Long ball forward. into space, but should see Leverkusen in possession. They're struggling, but will end up on top. Bundesliga trying to give instructions on how she wants to come forward, but ultimately Leverkusen again solve it by going back all the way into their defensive line. Going given away now on that far side. But all in all, I think Roberto Betzold can be quite happy with what his side has shown in this first half thus far. Nice to see both strikers on the scoreboard. Of course, one from the penalty in the 28th minute from Cornelia Kramer, who scores her first goal for Leverkusen. And the first in the 21st by Caroline Kehrer, her second goal of the season. Nice to see her add on top of the tally early on in the season. Of course, still very much early days. Leverkusen, as things currently stand, will see themselves at the top of the table with 10 points. But only trailed by 1 point is Bayern, and they can get that point quite easily on the weekend as they face off against Bremen. Not going to say it's going to be an easy game, but Bayern certainly heavily favoured. Right now, Leverkusen were trying to come forward. Cornelia Kramer did stay on the ground and is being checked on by the official, and her medical staff will be asked to come onto the pitch. Let's hope it's nothing serious for the 21-year-old. Has, of course, had successes in her professional career, winning the Danish league twice with Køge, and now making that move into the Frauen Bundesliga. You can see her studs just getting stuck on the wet grass on that sliding tackle. Could be something more serious, but with the way that she was already moving, I think she should be fine. Let's see how things go. Hoffenheim are going to take this break. Theodoros Didas already trying to give further instructions. I'm sure that he'll keep a bit more of an in-depth talk for that halftime break. Kama back on her feet, and I want to say she's moving all right. Let's hope that it's all assessed correctly and that she can continue. And we will then see Hoffenheim with that goal kick to continue proceedings. Maybe add 1 or 2 extra minutes onto injury time here for that first half. Already back running is Cornelia Kramer. Seems to be moving well as well, so a little bit of a scare for a second, but all good to continue here as the first half is now winding down to a close. A minute still officially up. We'll see the board come up in a little bit times. You can see as well more and more players slipping up. Seen a couple slips from Hoffenheim earlier. Of course, Kramer just with that sliding tackle getting stuck in the grass. Couple of players slipping. You can see the rain coming down throughout the entire match. It has certainly picked up since before the game. It's not like they weren't already preparing the field here for the match. Leverkusen quite adamant that it should have been their throw-in, but it will be Hoffenheim's. Roberto Petzold seemed a little bit wound up by the fact I'm also taking their time with this throw-in. Shallow throw-in down that far side will see Leverkusen back in possession quite easily. And with regular time wrapped up, linesman already looking towards his watch. Should see at least a little bit of time added on top. before I see that board come up as well. 2 minutes. Pretty much your usual thing when you're watching German football. It doesn't matter what really happens, as long as there's not an extremely long stoppage. It doesn't matter how many goals are scored, how many injury breaks we might have. Usually we see around the 2 or 3 minute mark, sometimes only one, even when there is 2 or 3 goals. I think everyone is quite eager to go inside towards the locker rooms, get out from the rain a little bit, and see what they can bring to the table in that second half. For the moment, of course, Leverkusen certainly looking like the stronger side. They were the stronger side on paper. Who knows? It is looking very likely they could take their first win against Hoffenheim in 8 years here in the Frauen Bundesliga. It's quite a streak that Hoffenheim kept going their way. Of course, 3 years ago, Leverkusen were able to get a win. That was in the DFB Pokal and not here in the Bundesliga. I think with this season getting started, everyone expected Leverkusen to be that stronger side and to be a little bit more sufficient on the pitch as well. Again, long ball coming forward. Hoffenheim's defense a little bit out of position, but it is called offside quite early on. Otherwise, it would have been Caroline Kehrer again to come forward. She did have support this time by Cornelia Kramer, so it could have been that deadly duel once more to add another goal onto the score sheet here in the first half, but it should be 2-0 unless Hoffenheim have something else to say against it. Maybe now with this run down the left-hand side by Mimiti. Has scored 2 goals this season already for Hoffenheim, but not to be. Move broken down quickly by Leverkusen, and maybe now the move again. Foul in midfield. And that should be the last action we see in the first half. As long as Leverkusen are looking to come forward, that should see the halftime whistle blow, and that's exactly the case. So with that, Leverkusen up 2-0 here at home up against Hoffenheim on match day 4 of the Google Pixel Frauen Bundesliga. It was a long ball into Kehrer in the 21st minute to bring that first goal, and then Kramer was able to score that penalty in the 28th to bring us up to this 2. We'll have to see what that second half will still hold if both head coaches decide to make any changes. Definitely stick with us here with the Google Pixel Frauen Bundesliga. We'll be back as soon as players return to the pitch here in Leverkusen.
By bringing the best players on the planet, it gets people more involved in the game. Ongeberg, Irina Sabalenka coming here to Saudi to play. 2 women going head-to-head in this arena, making history. And then you have Novak Djokovic versus Carlos Alcaraz. Be able to have the greatest of all time, the #1 player on the planet, against the guy who's #2 in the world, who's been the youngest ever world #1.
A love for the game of tennis makes me give my 100%.
I've been waiting for tennis to come to Saudi, and it's really exciting, especially for female. I think it is very important for us. Definitely we'll give it all.
Have these greats in the game playing head-to-head is really special. You couldn't ask much more for this competition.
Hey, listen up. Let's have it. We know you've always got your eye on the prize, the championship belt. And why wouldn't you? You're a finely tuned, well-oiled boxing watching machine, capable of consuming over 150 fights on the DAZN every year.
We've gone big, we've gone global.
Churning through combinations, comebacks, and non-stop knockouts. Where are you? With big fights every week, you're the best in the world. So go on, get that belt, champ. DAZN, undisputed.
The UEFA Women's Champions League is back. Here we go.
Shot from range! What a strike that is!
What a player! What a moment!
Mikel Dante. Tana Bonmati again. This time it's Vic who stops her and will come back to Walsh. And Barcelona go ahead. Did well to pull the ball back to the advancing Walsh.
Tana Bonmati. What they've got defending to do now with Graham Hansen. And Tana Bonmati to pick a spot. 3-0. And the third scored by the world's best player.
It's just about composure, and that's certainly what she's got. It's a terrific finish.
There's more pressure here coming from Tana Bonmati. Tana! It could only last so long. And the world's best player does it again. Hansen again. Patrick's in the middle. And it's another. Patrick Guerrero. There's daylight opening up on this victory note. On the plate by Graham Hansen, turning provider. Patrick Guerrero. Deadly at both ends of the field.
Caroline Graham Hansen. Going on in the centre for Barcelona here. Graham Hansen might just do it all herself for Tana Bonmati. Just like that. 4-0.
Good work again by Graham Hansen, but she's quite selfish, really. That's a good finish.
He's got a little pocket of space against Seysa. Lovely cross in as well. Carolina Graham Hansen doing what she does best.
I mean, it's one of the greatest sports in the world. The history of boxing through the Olympics, through professional boxing, amateur boxing, incredible. It should be in the Olympics. The problem with boxing, and it's exactly the same to the IOC and to everybody involved that it is for me and His Excellency and Canelo Alvarez, it's a pain in the arse. And sooner or later, people like the IOC will go, do you know what? We've had all this, controversy, criticism, whether it's about Imar Khalif, whether it's about the qualification system, whether it's about IBA, whether it's about, all these other things. We can't be bothered anymore. And I would understand that. But I also asked the IOC to just have the backbone and be up for the fight to say, no, we're not, we can't be bothered with boxing anymore. But no, we're not losing boxing. That's the mindset that I want them to have.
Knocked into the penalty area. Drummer can't quite get there. The shot comes in from distance. Oh, that's a crossbar. What a save that is from England. Ryan so close to an equaliser. That was struck with venom. And then they'll get a touch onto the crossbar. Fast play down. Dangerous ball. Mike Ricky the shot. Oh, it's a terrific save. Stenovic.
Reynard in her way, not for long. Tringa still going. It's Katoto on for 3. Wow, Enlock keeps Leon potentially in the tie.
It's not going to be your usual show. Get ready. This is the DAZN X Series.
Second fight of the night for KSI, and they called it. KSI wins 2 fights in 1 night. Oh my God! We got Pineda! Alcatraz Pineda! What a fight. Just feels so good. Redemption is so sweet.
With our first ever tag team boxing match with the fan favourite team of Luis Alcaraz Pineda, Los Pineda Saladas.
We are about to witness history right now. I've never seen anything like it. Check it out, Dylan. There's you. Oh, he deked him. He deked him. Yeah. Hit him while he's down. And here we go. It's broken out to a brawl. Security stormed the ring. Here we go, ladies and gentlemen.
Don't play some more people. I'm the fighter, not you. 48 hours of your time.
John's coming after him here. He's doing some shadow boxing.
For the women's Misfits Boxing Middleweight World Championship.
It's not looking good. And it's over. Elle Brooke is the new X-Series Misfits Middleweight Champion. Fox the Knockout of the year contender.
Are you not entertained?
We are going to be doing Guess the Lyric. Now, obviously, you're a musician.
Yep.
You're going to be performing.
Yeah, yeah.
So, you should know your own songs.
Yes.
You should. Like, by right, you should know your songs, okay?
I have released a lot of songs.
So, obviously, for every point that you get, you give me a percentage of prime. So, okay, so. What? This is how it goes. So, the first one is, show me where to look for a halo. I can tell you the context behind it. It's like,
okay.
You know, like,
give me a bit more.
Show me. I'm trying to be more godly. I'm trying to be more spiritual. Show me.
Oh, Beerus.
No, it's not. Not over yet. Yeah. See, this is
That's
the thing.
not my lyrics.
It is.
That's Tom Grennan.
But it's your song. See, this is the thing. We didn't tell you that it was gonna
be.
Yeah, this
man.
is the thing. You gotta stitch
I'm
him up.
Nah, I'm there like, bro. I ain't said this.
Stitch him up.
Listen up. Let's have it. We know you've always got your eye on the prize, the championship belt. And why wouldn't you? You're a finely tuned, well-oiled boxing watching machine, capable of consuming over 150 fights on the DAZN every year.
We've gone big. We've gone global.
Churning through combinations, comebacks, and non-stop knockouts. Where are you? With big fights every week, you're the best in the world. So go on, get that belt, champ. DAZN, undisputed.
Let's fight harder, unless we want to quit. What a player! What a moment! Oh, what a strike!
On for the extra point. Big room and a touchdown!
Zingano!
I am on the edge of my seat for this one.
One of the best fights that can be made at 140 pounds.
The UEFA Women's Champions League is back. Here we go.
Shot from range! What a strike that is!
What a player! What a moment!
Is the power and the speed still there? Can he be the wrecking ball that he was once in his career?
Every fight has consequence. There is so much on the line.
It's the greatest fight card, I would say, in the history of the sport.
There's been a lot said about me meeting with Eddie Hearn for the first time.
Two top promoters in the UK have never even met.
This has been a coming together. This has been a light bulb moment.
10 boxers from the top 15. That's extraordinary.
It's the craziest card ever. It's not supposed to be this good.
It was time for everybody to get together.
When you didn't think it could get any better, it gets better.
December 23rd changes the landscape and the course of heavyweight history. I know how to fight, and I'll fight to win.
Welcome back to the Google Pixel Frauen Bundesliga. It's Matchday 4 here in Leverkusen at the Ulrich-Haberland Stadion. And for now, it is 2-0 for Leverkusen. It is pretty much the result that we expected from the start. This matchup has always had goals, and certainly Leverkusen are the favourite side here today. And of course, it is still raining. It is quite mild for a Friday evening at the end of September. I talked to you about it during the game already, that usually towards the end of September we do have a couple of nicer days here in Germany as well. Not to be for this Friday night kickoff, however. Of course, those 2 goals scored in the 21st minute by a long ball towards Caroline Kehrer. Canadian able to beat the 2 chasing defenders to the punch, and then a nice lobbed ball over Laura Dick to make it 1-0 for the home side. And then just 7 minutes later, it was a corner kick from Leverkusen towards the far post, bringing down Carolina Willemsdottir, and ended up being a penalty kick, which Cornelia Kramer was able to make it 2-0 for the home team. So we'll have to see what the game is going to bring. Looks like we will have at least 1 substitution, with Melissa Kössler getting ready on the sidelines here for the second half. I'd expect her to come in for Jill Janssens, but we'll probably see that confirmed in a second once we see the board come up towards the start of this second half. Only expecting that might be the replacement for Jill Janssens, as she picked up a knock quite early on in the game, was seen limping a couple times, but looked like she was all bit better up towards the end of the first half, so we'll actually have to see what we're going to get. But right now the game is back underway in Leverkusen for this second half. So Gia Corley actually the one to be replaced. Did have a couple of actions coming forward earlier on that left-hand side, and actually the first move is going to be a run, a pass into Melissa Kössler. An attacking foul called against her. It will be Selina Ostermeier to go down. So Gia Corley did have a couple of attempts towards goal, but nothing really hitting the target in that first half, to be honest. Frederica Repol wasn't really challenged in that first half whatsoever. It was quite one-sided, didn't really see too many chances coming forward. More and more it did develop in favor of Leverkusen as the game went on. All throughout we saw 3 attempts hit the target for Leverkusen, 2 of them going in. And I think that overall Roberto Petzold was quite happy with his side here during the halftime break, already coming forward once more. Pass back into Willemsdottir. Her attempted shot not coming through. Good defensive action by Hoffenheim early on in this game. And we'll see Laura Dick bring it back into possession with that short roll. Maybe now again an attempt here to come forward for Hoffenheim. Can they be a little bit more successful this time out? Shot attempted, good save by Frederica Repol. The first time that she's really challenged. I talked about the fact just moments ago that she didn't have a scoring opportunity come her way just yet. And it is Mimiti with that attempt, has scored 2 goals for Hoffenheim this Frauen Bundesliga season already. It's nice to see her come forward with some force as well. Decent pass into her. Did have that defense beat in first instance. But Repol as well, for the fact that she wasn't really challenged in the first half. Nice to see, even though the ball was pretty much center goal, her having safe hands and not letting that ball drop back into any Hoffenheim follow-ups. A little bit of a pull here against Willemsdottir. And Fabian Dongus. Leverkusen with a Free kick. Again, Christine Kögel to take it. Always the one for these set pieces. Of course, not exactly the biggest danger in the air at just a meter 55 tall, but a good cross coming forward. Guided out for a corner. Corner number 4 here for Leverkusen, if I'm not mistaken. And they have been dangerous from the corners before. Of course, I alluded to the fact that it came from a corner kick that they got that penalty, and always crowding that front post when it is from the inside foot of Christine Kögel. Cross now to come in, well placed again, headed behind, I think, for another corner. It looked dangerous, and the Hoffenheim players complaining that there was a little bit of a push and a shove in the center, which will always happen when it is so compact towards that post. Again, Leverkusen setting up in a similar way. This time, Cornelia Kramer. The option to go short over to Sophie Stebel. This time again coming in towards that back post. No danger this time out, as it's headed away and picked up by Pilic. Another long ball forward. This time picked up by Leverkusen in that Hoffenheim defense. Nice little back heel to keep things going into Kehrer. However, a little bit of a misplaced pass. Leverkusen recover quickly with that cross in. Not to say stay in possession, but not this time, as at least Mehmeti tried to go for a run. Hoffenheim coming forward. Strong tackle, but all on the ball for Leverkusen. So they do win things back before it gets too dangerous. We are just getting the official attendance as well here in Leverkusen. Of course, not too much of a surprise that not too many did make it out. We did see some traveling supporters, 620 in attendance here in total at the Ulrich Haberland Stadion. There is, of course, capacity for 3,200. But on a Friday evening, rained out as it is, it's not surprising that attendance is just slightly lower here today. But still nice to see the support. And earlier, when Hoffenheim did have a little bit of a longer spell, you could hear some of their chants in the background. And they might just get a free kick here from a dangerous position. They could take advantage of. Selina Cerci going down to tackle from behind. Marcin Hansen does have a little bit of a limp afterwards. And you can hear the cheers now from the visiting fans here. Certainly a dangerous position if they can cross it in. This does come in towards the back post. Easy for Frederik Repo to pick that one from the air. His 4th season here at Leverkusen. Previously Wolfsburg and Hoffenheim before that years ago. So whilst there might not be too many players remaining on the pitch from her tenure back then, she certainly does know the club. All knocked loose. Hoffenheim trying to get back into this game. Have had a couple of attempts to come forward here in the second half in these first 7 minutes. But again, Leverkusen able to alleviate the pressure quite easily. To get the ball back into their own ranks, slow things down, go back to Repo. Now some space to try and run forwards. That pass out towards the outside. Probably not even needed, but the passing going well. Unfortunately, Websdottir didn't actually see the pass coming her way. But Leverkusen will still have possession nevertheless. Hansen getting some further instructions from Roberto Petzold on that sideline prior to taking that throw in. And now the throw-in the other way for Hoffenheim. Just as I talk about the fact that there is a couple of Hoffenheim supporters in the ranks today, you can hear them more and more in the background trying to bring their team back into this game. And not too good. Long ball forward. Seemed to be a touch against Friederike Repol. We're getting the replay here right now. Not sure if it was Vidal. And it was actually, yeah, left foot of Vidal into the head, so nothing that Miti has to touch her own nose for. Let's hope that Repol will be fine to continue here. Anne Moll, the backup goalkeeper on the bench here today, as Charlotte Fall is still just getting back to practice. Let's hope that Friederike Repol will be fine to continue. See some of the Hoffenheim fans there. Pretty sure it's all mixed throughout as well. She looks fine to continue. Already has that laugh back on her. All good to continue. Couple of cheers here. Now ready to get back into the game. And Leverkusen back in possession. So of course, with that small little stoppage, a little bit of time to breathe for the teams as well. Maybe an extra opportunity for both coaches to have a quick word with their players, even though it was just 10 minutes ago that they had their team talks here at halftime. The Leverkusen players were out a little bit earlier to get a little bit of warm-up in, and right now maybe the big chance for because Dottier is blocked. Tries a bicycle kick, but not going to be able to get it on target. Nice attempt. Did have a little bit of space, just not the timing to get that ball under control and actually get a proper touch on it. And of course, as you can see, there was 3-4 defenders right around her right away there. So now the ball back underway. And Leverkusen already on the case to get the ball back into their own possession. Hoffenheim will get a free kick from that tussle. We're in front of the ball to try and stop any long balls from coming forward quickly. And now Hoffenheim can build back from their own ranks. And their defensive line have been looking to go towards that wing a couple of times, and maybe now Janssens, good run from her, good double pass. Maybe now an attempt towards that left-hand side, a little bit too long on that release. Cross towards the center, and it is the goal for Hoffenheim. It will stand. I'm not sure what the quick secondary whistle was all about, but Selina Jeci to score her third goal of this Bundesliga season. Nicely done off of that cross. Wide open, no one covering her. It's a little bit too far behind to actually cover her off. Of course, she was the one to score in the 28th minute in their last week's game up against Bayern. Ended up being a 5-1 win for the Bayern side, but Jill Janssens, excuse me, to score. Which does make it her first of the season. Now again, Hoffenheim coming forward. Maybe it could be a quick 1-2 to bring them back into level pegging. And ball release for Leverkusen just to get rid of some of that pressure. More and more cheers from the sidelines now as well. Long ball coming forward for Leverkusen. Christine Kögel. Can she get that cross into it to center? She does. And Cornelia Kramer goes down. She was pleading for a foul against her. There's some discussions back there. But needs to get back into the fit, otherwise they've been caught offside in that situation. Everyone now back to normal. Leverkusen will have possession down that right-hand side. Cross comes in again. This time cleared out for a throw-in just by that corner flag. Does take a little bit longer for the throw-in to actually happen. Leverkusen here in the second half, seeming to be a little bit more accurate on their passing, finding their pathing through, and now a long ball down that right-hand side will go out for a Hoffenheim throw-in, but nice attempt to get it to Carolina Kehrer. There you go. Good run through center field now. Kögel there to support as well. That's exactly what she will do. Shot blocked. No one on the opposite side to try and get to it. Nice little bit of force by Cornelia Kramer. 21-year-old giving chase and giving a little bit of a push and a shove to her opposite number. Now Jill trying to release stress here. Leverkusen again into Kögel. Has had a couple more touches in the second half. Her ball forward, blocked for a second, should go out for a corner. That's exactly what will happen. The next corner to come. Again, very crowded inside the box around the keeper. This time I think it's the same solution they tried ahead of that penalty kick as well, crowding a little bit more towards that back area, and then the runs come in. This time no one can connect with that cross. It will just be an easy goal kick following the corner. Substitution now to come. And it will be Loreen Bender to come onto the pitch for Carolina Williams-Dottir. Not a strong game in that first half. Did have a couple of chances, did have a couple of strong runs. Of course, was involved in winning that penalty as well. Strong game from the player that came in from Bayern on loan last season, has had a tremendous season last season and also put her mark on this season already. Of course, for Loreen Bender, she makes a return from the Under-20s World Cup. Did score 4 goals in her campaign for Germany there. Of course, the team did make it to the quarterfinals, where they dropped up against
the United States in penalties. Not all too long ago, so nice to see them making returns quickly on the Leverkusen side. Hoffenheim's head coach Theodoros Diedes was quite clear about the fact that he wants to give his youngsters a little bit more time to reintegrate back into practice. Of course, they didn't really have time to do regular practice during the week, as their last game was back on Monday against Bayern. Now have the Friday game, so not exactly a long stretch to try and prepare for that next opponent. So I would imagine that they're going to be back in for the fixtures next week as well. For Hoffenheim, their next games are going to be up against Bremen and Köln. Leverkusen back in possession here on the hour mark. Now with an easy run forward. We stopped, offside called against Caroline Kehrer. Good run by Sophie Sebel. We didn't see her come forward too many times thus far today. She did have a couple of opportunities just outside the box on the far side earlier. Especially in the first half, didn't see too much of her coming forward. Hoffenheim will now have that throw-in on the near side. Maybe an opportunity for Julie Janssens with a longer throw, as she attempted a couple of times earlier to bring that ball closer towards the box. That's exactly what she's trying to do. Kugel with the clearance. Should see another Hoffenheim throw-in, but just about kept inside by Kehrer. And so Hoffenheim will remain in possession. Everyone from Leverkusen behind that ball. Everyone pretty much retreated into that defensive third. The long ball to try and come forward and deliver is going to be stopped. Meti tries to continue forward. Is going to be brought to the ground by Juliette Vidal. And stays on the ground as well, holding on to her right knee. Get a second angle on it. It was trying to go for the ball, of course, but just slightly misplaced, and that knee-to-knee contact, everyone that's played football in the past knows that that does hurt. And yellow card for Vidal as well. I'm sure that there was a little bit of a talk between Miriam Schwärmer and her official on the sidelines. Not to worry about too much here, of course. We are still very early in the season. Now there's not too much of a worry regarding cards. We'll have to see what the aftermath of this free kick is going to be. It's bound to come in any moment now. Actually going towards the front post as well. Nicely headed away in first instance. Let's just see if Leverkusen can actually keep that ball clear. Hoffenheim will pick it back up. It's just not good enough for Leverkusen just yet. Good move by Kugel. Maybe now the release into an attack of their own for Leverkusen. Quick run down that right-hand side. Straight back into Lorien Bender. Tries to stay on her feet, doesn't quite manage. A good move forward by Leverkusen. Quite clear that there was no other option then to book Vidal for that tackle. The ball back underway and Hoffenheim come out on top for the moment. However, nice little interception. Ball played. Both players stay on the ground. Keep an eye on Vidal. She's just slowly getting back up as Leverkusen have retreated and will actually clear the ball towards the outside. So I'm guessing Vidal did go back down. And might need attention from her team's medics. And at the same time, also Hoffenheim do have another player down. And quick players returning back to the bench on the Hoffenheim side as well. Their medics now called to the pitch as well. Vidal back on her feet. At least for the moment, still clinching her left ankle. Laura Dick coming up the pitch as well. Let's see if we can get a better look. So it was Mimiti. I think there was multiple contacts there, and I think Mimiti's just had a touch towards her, towards the front of the foot, which might have hurt first, but when she got back up, she had a little bit of a limp, and the medics are currently checking movement of her knee. That is never a good sign. Hoffenheim have now bunched up towards their bench. Individual instructions on the side of Roberto Petzold for Christine Kögel, I believe, on that far side. In the meantime, Theodoros Didas, he was quite clear that he does have a deep squad and he does have players that he can bring into contention, and we can see might need to see another change on the Hoffenheim side, as still have Mimiti down on the ground. And I wouldn't be too surprised if we do see a substitution for Mimiti, which is very unfortunate, of course. Is yeah, two-time goal scorer this season already for Hoffenheim. And if she does have a longer injury, as she's being carried off the pitch right now by her fellow players, it's not looking good for that, but let's hold off on too much speculation. Because of course, yeah, on the side of Hoffenheim, they did just have Mara Alba as well injure her ankle in practice on Wednesday. 19-year-old, so yeah, changes now coming through. Mimiti going off the ground, Fili Delicau coming on. And I think a secondary change as well, with Lisa Kaut coming on for Rankin. So yeah, let's hope that it's nothing too serious. Of course, when you're being carried off the pitch by your fellow players, probably will be a little bit more, but we'll keep our eyes open on the Hoffenheim news channels over the next couple of days. We might even know more after the game. I'm sure that she'll go in for checks right away. As at least for the moment, Leverkusen had a little bit of possession. Does sort of break down, but they try to win it back quickly. Maybe now the opportunity for Hoffenheim to once again come forward. Nice little back heel, unfortunately, into empty space, and Leverkusen might just be able to take advantage. It should be offside here against Caroline Kehrer. It will definitely be a throw-in on the far side, nevertheless. 20 minutes still to go. It's still anybody's game. Sure, Leverkusen are up 2-1. But since the goal in the 28th minute from that penalty, haven't really seen all too much from them going towards goal. They did have 2 attempts here in the second half already. Hoffenheim have had stronger possession numbers here in the second half, and have certainly looked strong time and time again coming forward. However, yet again, the point that we touched on in that first half is just that last little bit of accuracy in those final passes. There's already bandage around her knee. Not surprised. There seems to be a couple tears as well. Usually the player knows best what the injury could be like. It would be a big loss for Hoffenheim if Mimiti would be out for a longer period. Long ball forward now. Easily dealt with for Leverkusen. Just getting the ball towards the touchlines, get everyone behind the ball again. And make sure that Hoffenheim can't break through anywhere quick Good job by Christine Kögel, still fighting for that ball in midfield. Good job by Pilic to pick it back up. Leverkusen will have a throw-in. Still Hoffenheim pressure very much present in this game. Big block by Christine Kögel with her head. It still goes forward towards Hoffenheim players, and now down the left-hand side. Maybe now that could break free again. Easy catch for Friederike Repel from that long-distance shot. Not really any danger towards her goal. There's a little bit of over-aggression on the side of Hansen to try and come forward from that position. Let's try and cut things out. It works out this time for Leverkusen to get a foot in. However, free kick call earlier. And Hoffenheim again will have one of those set piece situations where usually we'll just go for a cross or a long pass down that left-hand side. And that could be a quick and easy option here for Feldkamp. Expecting a long ball forward. That's exactly what we'll see. Good chance here for Hoffenheim, and an even better double save by Friederike Repel. And her defense can get that ball clear as well. I didn't expect it to get so hot from that cross in from Feldkamp. Two massive chances here for Hoffenheim. And two even better saves by Friederike Repel. And that's one of those situations where Hoffenheim should have made things level, and Leverkusen get away with a scare. This game now finally heating up a little bit more. Hoffenheim will keep on coming forward. Traveling fans, you hear them again in the background. Towards the edge of the area now. Again, a cross comes in, this time cleared. Big secondary shot, but wide of target. And goal kick following that. Another change in the offing. Christine Kögel will come off for Gonzalez. And Carolina Kehrer will come off for Vanessa Heim. So certainly changes here by Roberto Petzold to be a little bit more aggressive, maybe score another one here before Hoffenheim get that chance. Of course, Carolina Kehrer was the one that scored that first goal in the 21st minutes to bring things up for Leverkusen with that long ball. Vanessa Heim coming in from Nürnberg. Also knows German football all too well right now. Another big chance here for Hoffenheim. Again, two players going down. Pleads for a handball by Melissa Kössler. But not seen that way by the officials here. So things certainly heating up more and more throughout this game. Hoffenheim seem the stronger side for the moment. Maybe those attacking changes can bring the relief that Leverkusen are looking for, but first of all they need possession and they need to carry it forward without just releasing long balls into space that lead to just more Hoffenheim possession. Right now again, Hoffenheim coming through. Good compact midfield for Leverkusen. Vidal almost being dispossessed there. It will be a Leverkusen throw-in. Maybe also a situation where Leverkusen might just look towards the clock in this game. Of course, for the moment, they would be top of the Frauen Bundesliga table. Maybe it could be this release into their own attack. Leverkusen coming forward. Somehow the ball makes it through. Can't actually get a finishing touch on it. Let's try Gonzalez to get that last shot off. But Loreen Bender was brought down. No one can get a proper shot off. And Leverkusen have to start at square one once again. And again, one of those clear chances that they should have scored. Continues to be 50-50 when it comes to possession. As expected, the passing has improved on the Leverkusen side. We'll have to see if it'll be enough. Plenty of shots from Hoffenheim here in the second half. If not mistaken, they were at 3 shots and 0 hitting the target in the first half, so certainly taking things over here in the second. And that's exactly what we've been seeing here on the pitch. Again, another cross to come in. Loose ball, but this time easily collected by Friederike Repo. As the ball just slightly deflected towards her goal, but no one there to get another touch on it. These final 10 minutes. Might just see this game heat up in a different way. We'll get another replay of this. The pass towards Heim. Unable to get that ball under control. And ultimately, Marina Gonzalez not able to get that shot off either without being blocked. Ten minutes remaining on the clock, plus probably a needed injury time of 4 or 5 minutes, because we did have 2 longer stoppages, especially Mimiti, who had to be carried off by her fellow teammates. Hoffenheim making more of the game in the second half. Leverkusen, maybe now they can hold possession a little bit longer. Another substitution to come. Be Franziska Harsch to come on for Dominika Grabowska, if I'm not mistaken. Of course, Harsch was the one that started in that position in their last outing up against Bayern. It was one of 2 changes that head coach Theodoros Denis made ahead of this game. Loose ball just knocked forward. Everybody chasing, but Laura Dick, the first to make it to the ball. Pressure on now by the Leverkusen players. Maybe this could be it. Marina Gonzalez from range. Could have probably looked for a follow-up pass rather than going for the shot directly. Again, Hoffenheim to get rewarded a free kick there from what looked like just a slight pull. And they've been dangerous from that position before, but this time no set piece, just quickly get that ball back rolling. Maybe it is that pace that they can keep going in that situation. But nicely stolen away for the moment by Cornelia Kramer. Her attempted release forward was, however, deflected out for a Leverkusen throw-in. I'm sure that they'll try to take any sort of time off the clock now as well. It might just be about nurturing this result over the line. Did just have that massive chance. Again, a situation down on the ground. Everybody tussling back and forth. Hoffenheim clearance. So Anje looking for a long release forward. Somehow it does bounce all the way through without anyone getting a meaningful touch to it. So It's harsh actually replacing Jill Janssens. Which I don't think we can even blame anyone from, because I'm pretty sure I saw the board come up with Dominika Grabowska as well. But maybe a last-second decision from Theodoros Didas to keep Grabowska up. Let's try and stay on their feet as they give chase. Again, everyone behind the ball. Leverkusen trying to find that compact defense to stop Hoffenheim from coming forward. A little bit of space now for the girls in this neon yellow-green. Good cross in. Just unable to get a dangerous touch on. Here's Küssler. It's her third season with Hoffenheim. Previously with Potsdam. Already quite successful with this side in her 3 seasons, getting 14 goals and 5 assists for the Hoffenheim side. A bit of a foul there, so Friederike Repol will have a resting ball, and she'll send up all of her players up the pitch. Maybe it is this longer goal kick to bring things back. And again, it seems like Leverkusen just missing that little bit of chill time to say, okay, let's take a breath, let's keep possession there in attacking midfield rather than releasing it straight away into an attack. It's been something that we saw quite a lot in that first half from Hoffenheim, and it was the main reason why they weren't really able to get into a dangerous position from the start. Dahl to take this throw-in, looking to go further up the line with a long throw, very contested by Hoffenheim, but they do come out with possession. And then the ball forward. Was looking for Kramer. She went down, but not enough, says referee Miriam Schwärmer. Closing minutes now here on the first matchup for Matchday 4 in the Google Pixel Frauen Bundesliga. Again, Leverkusen will have possession quite deep in their own half. And still, the Hoffenheim supporting fans are there, singing Blue White's TSG. They've been the more vocal crowd, at least when it comes down to a couple songs here tonight. It seems like their support, especially here in the second half, has paid off. They've seen more chances for their side here. This time the low pass cut off, but no one from Leverkusen able to take advantage. The chase also not really given. Maybe some fatigue starting to kick in as well. Another change to come. Looks like maybe even 2 changes to come here for Leverkusen. Vidal will be coming off, and I think Menglu to come on in her place. And Sophie Stable coming off as well. So we'll have to see how that will change proceedings here, if it is just a question of Tired legs if they are just here to close this lead. Now it is a rather defensive change in both positions. Make sure that Hoffenheim might not be able to break through for another attack here. And just nurture this 2-1 lead over the line. But not if Cornelia Kramer has anything to say with it. Still fighting hard, still wants to get another goal scored. Maybe now from open play does go down as she missed out on taking the ball with her on that first attempt. Maybe now Hoffenheim can come forward. A strong tackle. A little bit of a dangerous tackle if you ask me. Coming in, and we'll probably see her penalized here. Selina Ostermeier will get a yellow card for that. I don't think any surprise there. But it was her team hustling back and decided to go for a decisive stop. I don't think anybody can complain with the yellow card there. And everyone from Leverkusen now in that defensive third. Maybe bar Cornelia Kramer. She still wants a little bit more say here. Scored her first goal for their side in her 4th game here in the Bundesliga. Might want to add on top of it. Long ball forward now. Dangerous here, just outside the penalty area. Loose ball finally knocked forward. Closing minute already underway. We'll probably see 4 or 5 minutes. Wouldn't be surprising, at least. Of injury time here. Easy header for Friederike Repol. She'll actually take it with her chest, take some time off, and then pick it up afterwards. Does give her a little bit more time to hold on to that ball. And of course, Kössler will already be complaining a little bit about how long Repol keeps that ball in her arms. 10 seconds of regular time still to go. Board about to go up. And we'll see 6 minutes. Yeah, not a surprise there. I think 5 would have been very conservative. 6 or 7 more likely because of the injury stoppages that we had. Hoffenheim will get another free kick early up in midfield. All substitutions already made, so no further chances for the coaches to look towards the bench. Very dangerous loose ball inside of the area here of Leverkusen. Still cannot get that ball clear. Hoffenheim still have 5 minutes to at least bring things level and take home 1 point. It's been 8 years in the Bundesliga since the last time that Leverkusen were able to beat Hoffenheim. Back in 2016. Of course, have seen further victories in the Frauen DFB Pokal back in 2021. In the round of 16, where Leverkusen ended up winning over penalties. Of course, for Leverkusen, they have 2 back-to-back home games. This one, and then they'll receive Carl Zeiss Jena the week after. We're currently 10th in the league. And for Hoffenheim, it will be a game back at home up against Bremen, who are right around their current table position. Wouldn't be surprised if Bremen don't collect any points, as they have to face off against Bayern on Sunday. And of course, we'll have coverage of that as well. And from the Google Pixel Frauen Bundesliga, another corner to come here for Leverkusen. It's at least one stat where Leverkusen are definitely leading as well. It's going to be interesting to see what the options are going to be. Of course, always Cornelia Kramer the one to place the ball, this time short to Loreen Bender. Can she take it down the line towards the center? This time gets a free kick for her troubles. Was being held onto. Dangerous position. Certainly something where they could go for a cross in or another short pass just to get the ball back rolling again. Just get that ball rolling. You can certainly also take a little bit more time off the clock here. And that might just be the game plan. No wall being built. It's all about just managing this game over time towards the corner flag. Ball knocked loose. Hoffenheim trying desperately to come forward. Throw in given for Leverkusen. Not too far up the pitch. Don't think you can really blame them. They didn't really have too much say in the second half. They had one massive chance where they were unable to actually get that ball towards goal. It was Vanessa Heim who couldn't stop the ball, and then a loose ball behind by Marina Gonzalez was blocked by Hoffenheim. Apart from that, it was a very dominant second half here by the visitors. Ball goes back to their goalkeeper. Maybe now the counter-attack. Everyone from Leverkusen hustling back to get back behind the ball. Hoffenheim getting those passes through. Maybe now a chance to come through cleanly. Foul given. And again, that's all time that Leverkusen can use. Friederike Repol coming up to take that free kick. See the next couple of games for Leverkusen as well. Vienna, Bremen, Bayern, Köln and Potsdam. So not exactly an easy ticket to continue. And all eyes on that Bayern game in a couple of weeks' time. But should have time to recover until then. Their schedule isn't that crazy, I'd like to say. For Hoffenheim on the other side as well. They've put a couple of the big names beside already. And now with Bremen, Köln, Potsdam, certainly a couple of chances for them to stay in. Leipzig will probably be a little bit more difficult, especially Wolfsburg, I think, will be that game that is going to be the hardest to come. But at the same time, that's still weeks away here for them. So not to worry about for now. Let's hope that Mimiti's injury isn't too harsh and that she's going to be able to make a return until that game, because her team desperately needs her. So maybe keep an eye on the Hoffenheim news channels once they actually put out a release on how Mimiti is doing. Hoffenheim will get another free kick here. And might see a little bit of an escalation here. Loreen Bender was subbed in just 20 minutes ago. We'll see a yellow card. There's no need to escalate any further. And I think a yellow card also dashed out for Hoffenheim. Closing minutes now. You can see Laura Dick on the left side of your screen also making her way up the pitch. Can Hoffenheim get a final chance in this game, or can Leverkusen nurture a 2-1 lead over the finish line? That's the big question right now. As actually it goes to Laura Dick. Cross comes in towards the far post, headed on. And it should be a Leverkusen goal kick, and that's exactly what we're going to see. And that might be the final thing we get to see in this game. Let's keep our eyes peeled. It's all just about slowing things down. Hoffenheim are 3 players all the way up. But Friederike Repol, she's just gonna take a German saying by heart. And that is hoch und weit, bringt Sicherheit. Get it as far away from your goal, and that's gonna be your safety. Long and high. Doesn't work out this time. Hoffenheim do pick things up. They do get a little bit of extra time because we did have a couple of stoppages here in injury time. But surely they have to keep the ball going forward. Long ball forward now. As it goes into touch, it might be the last thing we see. Leverkusen win 2-1 at home, and it's the first time in 20 times here that both teams have faced off since 2016. It's the first time that Bayer Leverkusen win against Hoffenheim. They do break that streak, and certainly deserved. They played a stronger first half, did have that opening goal with a long ball where the Hoffenheim defense was a little bit out of place, but certainly the stronger side in the first half. However, Hoffenheim, I have to give them the win here in the second half. They were looking very, very strong and certainly had Leverkusen sweating, and were able to come back into contention with that 57th minute goal by Selina Cerci, her third goal of this Bundesliga campaign this season. Leverkusen remain unbeaten on match day 4 here. Of course, the first match day up against Freiburg, they will have to replay, but for now, all happy mood on their side, and especially for head coach Roberto Petzold. On the other side for Hoffenheim, of course, frowns all around. They know they probably should have won this game. They had the better chances here in the second half, but don't get points here on the road. And looking to get some points once they return home in their next matchup there as well. They'll be facing off against Bremen, a more one-to-one duel here in the Google Pixel Frauen Bundesliga. All around though, Theodoros Dedes was quite clear about the fact that he does seem, the home side, a little bit stronger, a little bit more structured already. Yes, they had their faults, but all worked out. I think everyone in Leverkusen and also in Hoffenheim will be hoping that the injury for Mimiti isn't too serious, because of course she scored 2 goals this season already and will be looking forward to scoring more as soon as she returns, but I'm guessing that she might be out for a little while. She was carried off by her team earlier and wasn't able to put any force onto her knee. But still, I think the Hoffenheim team can be quite proud with what they've done here to date. They had a stronger second half. I look back at the first half, I think it was 6 shots on 6 attempts in total for Leverkusen. 3 of those hitting the target. They only were able to add 1 extra shot on target. And on the other side, Hoffenheim didn't have a single attempt on target, only had 3 shots in total, and were able to add 8 extra shots. And plenty of those hitting the target as well, making life difficult for Leverkusen in the second half, but they're able to nurture it throughout. And we'll have to see what they can do, as the season is still so young. So yeah, team circle here for Leverkusen. Big smiles, as expected, of course. And they well deserve that here as well. And yeah, frowns and a lot of discussion already on the side of Theodoros Dedes. Of course, they do have a long drive ahead of them, which, yeah, here are the best scenes from the game. First off, of course, that goal in the 21st minute. Beautiful chip over the keeper. And well-deserved goal for Leverkusen. Big celebration throughout. And then this corner, which led to the 28th minute penalty kick. Vidal going down as she was pulled. Of course, there was a touch with her hand as well, but she was already being pulled down to the ground. And then Cornelia Kramer to make it her first goal this season, her first goal for Leverkusen as well, to bring Leverkusen up 2-0 at half-time. And then more and more attempts from Hoffenheim into the second half. Certainly had the stronger start, had the better attempts. Even though Leverkusen still had a couple of chances, probably should have scored this one. Williams-Dottir attempted the second shot, but just couldn't able to beat those blocks. Too many players around for Hoffenheim. Of course, big frustrations. But then it was this header from Selina Cerci to mark her 3rd goal this season as well. Uncovered by Vidal. That was at least the attempt to get back into the game for Hoffenheim. Not enough, of course, after all. Leverkusen did have one further big chance as well. Hoffenheim did have a couple. This massive double save, of course, by Friederike Riepel, not to be forgotten. It probably should have been 2-2. And Friederike Riepel, probably the MVP for the Leverkusen side when you consider those two big saves. Didn't have a lot to do in the first half. Had a little bit more to do here in the second. Was beaten once, but all the other attempts wavered, and Leverkusen do come out on top. Thank you for joining us here today for the first match of Matchday 4 of the Google Pixel Frauen Bundesliga. Leverkusen come out on top 2-1 over Hoffenheim. Plenty more action across the weekend. And of course that top match Sunday evening. Eintracht Frankfurt up against Wolfsburg. Shouldn't miss that one. We'll see you there. Thanks and good night.
The UEFA Women's Champions League is back. Here we go. Shot from range! What a strike that is!
What a player! What a moment! Let's fight harder, unless we want to quit. What a player! What a moment!
Oh, what a strike! On for the extra point. Big room and a touchdown!
Zingano!
I am on the edge of my seat for this one.
One of the best fights that can be made at £140.
By bringing the best players on the planet, it gets people more involved in the game. Ongeberg, Irina Sabalenka coming here to Saudi to play. Two women going head-to-head in this arena, making history. And then you have Novak Djokovic versus Carlos Alcaraz. Be able to have the greatest of all time, the #1 player on the planet, against the guy who's #2 in the world, who's been the youngest ever world #1.
A love for the game of tennis makes me give my 100%.
I've been waiting for tennis to come to Saudi, and it's really exciting, especially for female. I think it is very important for us. Definitely, we'll give it all.
To have these greats in the game playing head-to-head is really special. You couldn't ask much more for this competition.